Cards Crafty Creations. So today I'm going to be making a keepsake box out of a shoebox. I was kind of challenged by a friend to make something with a shoebox because she has so many of them, and to make something using Mod Podge and things that were inexpensive. So she gave me a budget of about $20, $15 to $20, and I think I made this with half of that. So what I'm going to do is, it's not going to look exactly like this. It's going to be geared more towards things she would like, and so I'll show you what I'll be using today to make that box. I'm going to use a roll of wrapping paper that I actually got from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. It's craft paper with some polka dots on it. I'm going to use some cardboard to add a little bit of dimension to the shoebox. This is the shoebox I'll be using, and the reason I'm going to use the cardboard is because you can see that the shoebox has a lip on it on this side where it opens up, and so I'm going to put this on the back side to create another lip so it looks like an actual lid. So I'll be using that. I'm going to use a piece of tissue paper that I got from Hobby Lobby in this pack of tissue paper for $1.99, which I then used a 40% coupon for. So it was really inexpensive, and it comes with 20 sheets, and you could use this for a while. I'm going to use a gift bag for embellishments that I got at the dollar store, so this was $1, and I'm going to cut these out. And because this is a two-sided bag and the back side is a replica, it'll allow me to make additional cuts with the same image and pop them up, so I then have a dimensional flower. I'm going to use a piece of cardstock. One piece of cardstock, I think it's, I don't know, 69 cents. You could get it cheaper, I'm sure. And I'm gonna make these bands to do the straps on the box. And I have actually some brads. I needed 14 brads for the straps, and I need 6 brads for the latch. The latch, I'm not going to use this latch per se, but I do have another latch that's similar, a little bit more refined. And these latches I get at Hobby Lobby in the wood section, and I think they're $2.99 for 2 latches. So that's really inexpensive. So you should utilize the woodworking section at Hobby Lobby. They have a lot of metal embellishments that are really inexpensive and add a lot of character to your projects. So I'll be using that today. I have a photo frame that I also got at the dollar store for $1. I also got these butterflies at the dollar store, and this roll of sequins ribbon also. And then, like I said, I'll be using Mod Podge, and I think that's about it. I'll let you know if I use anything else besides those things. So let's go ahead and get started on covering the box. Okay, so what I'm going to use today to cover the box, like I said, is I got some wrapping paper from the dollar store, and I have actually cut them down to a size that's manageable for me to work with. This is going to be the insides of our box, so I'm going to set that aside for now. And this is going to cover the outside of the box. The base, I'm going to cover the base of the box and the polka dots, and then I'm going to cover the lid of the box in this tissue paper. I'll be using Mod Podge to cover it. This is the glossy one. It comes in a variety of shades, which I didn't even know. They even have an antique finish one that's kind of brownish color. I haven't used them yet. I usually use this. You can get Mod Podge at the Dollar Tree, and you can also get some tacky glue at the Dollar Tree too. I might use this today to do the inside of the box also. I like to put my Mod Podge in a Tupperware and water it down just a little bit, dilute it some. That way it goes a little further and it gives you a little bit more working time. And I'm also going to use a This is a distress sprayer. You can use really anything because I like to mist the paper. When the paper has thickness to it, it can be a little bit hard to get to smooth out. So if you mist the paper, it kind of weakens it a little bit and makes it a little more pliable for you to smooth out. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So while that's drying, I'm going to show you how to make the straps for the box. What I do is I cut out a strip of paper. It's 1 1/4 wide. This is going to make a 1/2 inch strip. So this is going to, I'm going to score it at 1 inch and 1/2 inch. Then what I'll do is I will take, it's going to have a 1/4 inch here, and that's going to be what we adhere the other 1/2 inch to. And I'm going to fold this over here. And then I'm going to take some of my tacky glue, and I'm going to just put the little line of glue on the 1/4 inch. And then I will seal that down. I like to take a paper towel and go across it. Anytime I'm using liquid glue, I like to smooth it out with a paper towel. That way the paper towel absorbs any of the glue that squishes out while I'm trying to get the seal to adhere. For this box, we're going to need 4 straps, and I already pre-made some straps here. And we'll get to those in a little bit when we start embellishing the box. Our box is just about dry. It's got a little bit more drying to do, but it'll be okay. I'm going to start on doing the tissue paper top. So I'm going to start with the flap. I'm just going to line up the tissue paper with whatever part I want to be on the flap. So I think that's probably good like that. So I'm going to put some of our Mod Podge down. Mod Podge is like a glue, so, and then it also will seal the paper when we brush it on the top. So I'm just gonna adhere that. To the front of the box. Okay. We'll just smooth it out. Now I'll bring this back over and I'll put some of our Mod Podge over the top. Now I know that you can see through the box, and I'm okay with that because we're going to have embellishments over the front. But if you're not okay with that, you can always take some white paint and do a coat of white paint over the top of the box. Okay, I'm going to flip this over now. And if you recall, I cut that extra piece of cardboard to make the lip here. So what I want to do is I want to adhere this down, and I want to leave a little bit of a gap because when I flip this over, I'm going to need some excess for the dimension of this cardboard. So I'm going to put some of our solution on here. Going to adhere that to our box. Okay. I'm going to cut off the excess tissue paper. I'm going to adhere it to this. That way the tissue paper is going over kind of like the flap of our front box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the box. And I'm going to use my Turbo Tacky glue. It dries really quickly and it's going to be stronger than using the Mod Podge for this because it is pretty tight. So I'm going to adhere that. And I'm just going to put some pressure on it until it adheres to the box. I said I really didn't worry too much about the print underneath, it's because I'm going to actually lay something over the top. So it's going to be, this is 12 by 6 and this is 11 3/4 by 5 3/4, and this is just a piece of paper I got for my stash since I'm going to be using flowers on this one. And I'm just gonna take my glue and adhere this to the box. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere our photo frame to the box. And what I did was, out of the gift bag, I cut out a piece of the bag and I'm going to set it in the frame as the background to the frame. And then I'm actually going to rip this back off because I don't need that. This frame I actually did get at the dollar store also, so it's not the best frame, but it does the job. Okay, what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put some cardboard on the back of the frame because I want it to be up a little bit so that I can put stuff behind it. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces of cardboard down, and I'm going to adhere that to the frame. It doesn't really matter what you adhere it with. Anything will work. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the frame to the box. And what I use for that is the 6000. You could probably use any type of glue, but this is really industrial. It'll get a good seal and a bond to this. I'll also use this glue for the metal embellishments when I go to stick those on. This will take a bit to dry, but I'll just continue going forward with our embellishments. So I'm just going to adhere this in the center. Try and get that centered. Gives you a little bit of time to be moving it around and stuff as well. So, okay. Then, like I said, I did cut out some flowers, and so I'm going to kind of pick out where I want to put those. Think about trying to make it as dimensional as you can. That gives it a little bit more character. So I cut this out. This came from the corner of the bag. Can do that. I cut out some of the leaves and the butterfly, and so it's really just a matter of adhering things down now to the back of the box. Okay, now I've cut out some additional pieces that I'll be able to pop up on top of our other flowers. So what I'm going to do in order to do this is I got a roll of this foam tape at the 99-cent store here, and it's just dimensional foam tape, and I'm just going to stick it on the back of my elements that I want to pop up. gonna take this and I'm going to cut the strip down and then cut it so that there's just one row of this. And then I'm going to hear it to the edge of my frame. Okay, so now what we're going to work on is putting the straps on the box. And what I do for that is I got to measure the straps out. This one can put that back together. I want the strap to cover the front of the box. So I'm just gonna hold it there and fold it down. And then I'll reinforce the fold there. Okay, then I'm gonna do the same thing for the back of the box. And I'm going to mark it to be cut off. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that off. So now we have our strap for the front. And then what I'm going to do is, remember I got the brads, and what I'm going to do is I got silver brads for here. So on the front of the strap, I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm just going to punch a hole, and I'll try and center it there. I'm going to insert a brad and open it up and press it. So now the front of our strap has an embellishment. I'm going to do the same thing with the back. This is going to be on top of the box. Punch a hole and insert a brad. So it'll sit like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these to the box lid. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another strap and I'm going to line it up with our strap we adhered here, and I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to do that for both sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch 2 holes at the bottom. And insert 2 brads into those holes. Okay. So now that we have put our straps on and we've embellished it, the last thing we need to do is put the latch on. So like I said, I got these latches at Hobby Lobby in their wood section, and it's $2.99, and if you use a coupon it's even cheaper. But it comes with screws because it's a wood latch, but I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use some brads instead, and I'm going to remove the packaging that they've put on it. I'm going to adhere this down to the top, and then because we have the box, it's naturally not going to latch together because it's not the same depth. So I'm going to cut some cardboard and stick behind this and get it raised up so that they will meet together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so this just about completes the box here. I'm going to finish putting the latch on, and then I'm going to let that dry. And then once it's all dry, I'm going to make sure that the latch will close. So make sure that it's all seated properly. That looks about right. Okay, so I'm going to let that finish drying because that's going to take a while, and then that will actually complete our box. Actually, I'm going to cover the inside. I did cut some pieces of the wrapping paper down to match the inside, and I will just cover the inside and glue it down with my tacky glue, and then that will complete the box. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was actually a really inexpensive project to complete. And quite fun to try and utilize other resources to create a little keepsake box. So stick around and I'll have some pictures of the completed project. Thank you.